So in essence, we've gone through all of these things, basically a summary of what we've covered in terms of crisis management, having that plan in place, having those guidelines in place, reacting quickly, understanding the consequences of what you put out there, having clear guidelines for your staff and hiring the right manager, and overall making it fun and light and really appealing to the platform that you're putting out the message and giving your audience what they want. As I said, sometimes it's better to do it well or not do it at all. Otherwise, if you have something empty sitting out there, it's not reflecting well on your personality, brand, and your message. And you want to acknowledge any engagement you have. You want to leverage social media channels across each other. You want to get support from your whole team. It starts from within, and then you build it outwards. So you really need to get your staff, their families, everyone involved, and then build it from there. And you want to be timely and active with anything that you post. The other thing you want to do is you want to moderate conversations. You want to make sure that you're seeing what is going on in your social media, looking at the insights, anything that's turning anyone off. Anytime you get unliked, you want to be on top of that so that you don't burn your social media to the ground. You want to also understand ownership, and that if people, you don't own Facebook, you don't own all of those users, so you need to get them engaging with you. You need to connect with them on other levels as well in terms of email marketing. Okay, so questions. I do have someone here, but I'll go through these ones first because these came through via email. Outside the metric of likes, shares, retweets and mentions, what other metrics can help determine the success or failure of an online social media campaign? So really it does depend on the channel, and you must consider the objectives. So really with a particular social media campaign or particular message, you want to consider what did you want to achieve from that. If you don't have clear goals on the outset, then you can't measure the outcomes from it. So for example, for some it might be, besides all the shares and likes and everything, you actually get support for a particular initiative, or you get people actually going to your website and you get contact. So there's different ways and different methods for measuring success other than likes and shares, because sometimes that can be quite subjective. People just liking everything, like the lurker or whatever he was called. So you want to make sure that you're actually getting real outcomes from that. What would be the best platform to manage all the social media accounts for a council rather than having separate accounts? So as we mentioned, you can link them. So you can link, say, Facebook to Twitter and Instagram so they're all posting together, or you can get something like Hootsuite, which manages them all. How can you improve on conversion rates with end users when there are no monetary incentives, i.e. signing up for a workshop? Well, what you want to do is you want to create urgency in whatever you do. You want to have good call to actions. You want to pose questions. You want to deliver value, and you want to be creative. If you're creative, people will jump behind you just because of it. Is there some sort of predictive modelling that can be implemented when creating a content calendar? So we did cover that copywriting. The answer really is no, because it depends. It's so subjective, and it depends on sort of people that you're targeting, the message you're trying to deliver, what medium you're delivering it on. In my opinion, a lot of it is trial and error. I mean, you can see what has worked for other councils, of course. You can track them through your analytics. But at the end of the day, some things are going to work differently. Even if you're quite similar to another council, they're going to work differently. You've got different demographics to work with. What is the best way to manage team players who don't follow social media etiquette rules? Well, you have to have clear guidelines. You've got to try and put it in the hands of a few. You want to brief people effectively. You want to explain to them, look, what is the consequence of you doing this? If you're going out there and you're starting arguments with people, how does that affect our, the branding, the culture of the organisation? Actually get some real feedback. Maybe something to shock them would be to interview some members of your audience and just get their feedback on camera and share it back with that person, like what sort of effect or impact that they had on the end user that saw their comments.
That's quite relevant actually for councils in terms of, we have our code of conduct that staff work to. One of the big problem areas of council laws with that you can't control them. Yeah. But we're undergoing that at the moment with our councillors and county briefings.
Yeah, so you've got to include social media. Some of them don't think it's related. They don't relate, I can be a douchebag or I can do the wrong thing on social media, but it has no consequences. It does. It's the same as if you stood in front of an audience of people and you did the same thing. It has that even more of an effect if people share it.
They just look at two SBS journalists got sacked in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But they crossed on social media. We sacked a car parking attendant for, he posted a tweet, this was about 3 years ago when I first started council, he tweeted, "I'm stoned at work."
Really?
I'm still stoned from last night, and it was like, he was sacked on.
Yeah, they just don't consider the impact.
I mean, it wasn't the breach of social media guidelines, it was just the fact that it was stoned at work. But yeah, don't put it on Twitter.
They just don't think that, or I hate my boss, or all these things that go on Twitter that really shouldn't be there. You've got to treat it.
The end of your career is only one screen grab away. It doesn't matter if you tweet it. If someone's got a screen grab of that, you're ruined.
Well, even it's indexed in Google, and obviously we don't have the laws of the right to be forgotten in Australia and Google, so all of that is searchable content that's archived and indexed. Okay, we'll keep going through these and then we'll actually put it out to you guys for open questions once I get through the text message as well. Multiple websites, multiple social media channels, any tips? So manage it through one program, ensure consistency, have a detailed plan for each, don't make them all the same. They're meant to be different for a reason, they target different demographics. What do you think of my social media accounts? Okay, so I did go through them all. You guys got a good start. I mean, some of you don't have anything, come on, you can get there. The other ones that did, some of them seem neglected. So like I said, if you can't manage them and update them frequently, you may need to reconsider them. There was some good content out there, but like I said, it was a bit long, so you're going to pose more questions, break it up a little bit more, consider some of the tips that Ali gave. There was a few that had troll attacks. Not necessarily managed well, so maybe consider some ways that you can manage when people go a bit AWOL on your Twitter. And there's the need definitely to drive more user content. I didn't see enough user content, so it'll be good to get more people to engage with your page. Okay, this was a really good question. What strategy is most effective for engaging users using digital channels with an aging or older demographic? So the first thing you want to consider is the frequency and use and time of day. So you have these stats, but basically if you are considering the older demographic, I assumed 50 plus. I think 40 is still young, even 50 is still young. So I'm assuming if you're talking older demographic, you're talking towards retirees. So in terms of frequency, you want to look at how often they actually are on social media, and you want to look at when they actually go on there. So like I said, if your strategy for Facebook might be posting first thing in the morning because the 65 plus are there then. So you want to consider what time of day and what medium and what age group. The other thing you want to consider is the type of social media and how it's accessed. So, for example, if you have a look at Facebook in terms of male, female, and also the demographic, the age group that are using that social media platform, and then you want to consider what you're using. If you have, that's why I was saying with Snapchat, you look at the age group usage, 14 to 19 years old. So that's if you wanted to do skate parks, that sort of thing, maybe Pinterest. If you want to target the older demographic, it looks like more Facebook and even Twitter. If you want to consider also how people are using it, whether they're going to the app, whether they're using a website, PC, or whether they're actually using both or mobile site. The other thing you want to consider is where are you based? If you're based in Vic, ACT, New South Wales, South Australia, Queensland, where you're based, and sort of what social media medium is used most. That's another thing to consider as well. Okay, so I've got some questions here. A lot of questions actually. Cover as many as I can. Okay. Do we need to display the www in our marketing materials and collateral? It depends on how your DNS, sorry, who asked the question? Okay, it depends on how your DNS is set up. So DNS is basically the technical aspect of how your website's set up. Because sometimes if you just type in, like for example, if you go exa.com.au without putting the www, it'll still come up. But if your DNS is not set correctly, it won't come up. So it's an IT thing, really.
It's also a marketing question.
Sorry?
It's also a marketing question.
Good point, Mark. Mark says it's probably also a marketing question. From a marketing point of view, I probably wouldn't because it makes it a lot longer and kind of makes you dumbs down the user because most people know you don't really need to put it in there. So from a marketing point of view, probably not. How do you track the true brand benefit of using Instagram? How do you track the true brand benefit of any medium you put out there, even your marketing collateral, your bus stop advertising, that's the thing. It's really hard to measure brand. It really comes down to sometimes doing that sort of user-focused focus groups, asking people, even seeing how people are relating back through comments, through likes, to see sort of what the opinion is of your brand. That's a really tough question. Is it better to share an image from Instagram to Twitter or post direct through Twitter? I've done both. I think if you post it from Instagram to Twitter, it has, you're mainly targeting Instagram in terms of the length of the hashtag, so that's fine. So I don't see any issue of going through Instagram to Twitter. If you go the other way around, if you go directly, you can target it a bit better. Like for example, if you do go directly through Twitter, you can put a little bit more of a blurb, a different blurb than you put through Instagram to get different users. Okay, if I'm posting an article on Facebook that I've written, should that article be live on our website? Not necessarily. You could do different articles on each medium. Often there'll be a few times where I'll post an article that we have put on our website because obviously you can just put the URL link to it on your Facebook and it'll come up with the image of the article and then I'll put a few comments. So you can do both, but really it probably is good because then you have the end goal of them actually going to your website, engaging with you further rather than just on Facebook. So probably good to do that. How do you prevent your mayor from wanting to be a spokesperson via social media? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Chloroform?
Chloroform.
We have particular guidelines at our council where if it's got to do with politics, it's the mayor. If it's got to do with administration, it's the CEO. So we try and divide it up like that. But if you've got a tricky mayor, good luck to you.
Mm-hmm. I love the comment here about hashtags. How do we teach the world that hashtag this is not a hashtag? Hashtag I love it when the sun is shining, and hashtag so much aren't really hashtags. Good job. You want to teach them about trending. Like, if no one's searching that, there's no point. Sometimes people do it just to be funny though. Like, someone stole the pink flamingo at the front of my house in my garden, and I live in a city called Nollamara, so I hashtag Nollamara Thug Life. You know, if you're just going to be funny, then maybe that's alright, but on your actual social media, you want to be doing trending stuff because it's searchable. Any software you can recommend for scanning my webpage, just look for broken links rather than doing it manually.
SiteLiner, and there's also SEMrush, and they have, you can use them for free up to a certain amount of pages, and they'll scan your pages, and then after that you have to pay for a subscription. But SiteLiner is really good. It'll give you all any 404 broken links that are on your page. So SiteLiner, SITELINER, and the other one is SEMrush.
Okay, and while we're going through a few more questions, I just want to get you guys to fill out a survey, just what you think about our training, just so we can improve it in the future. I really appreciate if you do that, and we'll actually give out some prizes as well. Yeah, if you can hand them out, thank you. Okay. Language barrier for website and social media, who was that? Language barrier. Okay, cool. So how do you target or reach a highly multicultural local government association? So many different languages, difficult to engage non-English residents. Okay, Hayley. Well, there's different things you can do depending on sort of how many demographics we're talking and sort of how specific it is, because you may even have a separate sort of account that targets that demographic. In terms of your website, obviously you can go multilingual. If you're using, Google Translate, it's often not that great. So you want to have specific language for them. We did actually speak to an organisation who wanted to have a content management system that allowed them to post articles in different languages. So there are a lot of technical opportunities there, but it depends on what you want to do and how important it is and sort of how large that audience is. In terms of, sorry, do you want to answer that?
I was just going to say, in terms of gauging how big that audience is, well, as you can see out through stats, you can actually see what language people are viewing the site in, so it might help you identify whether there's a need there.
So Stratford Council has one of the most multicultural LGAs in the whole of New South Wales.
It's awesome.
But the problem is to target different audiences is really hard. So it's very sort of area specific in the council. So when we send out for instance flyers, depending on where we're sending it, we'll do different languages based on different locations. But then to do the Facebook page, for instance, we're putting a post. Most of our LGA is actually non-English speaking.
Yeah. So you'd have to have sort of separate.
It's really hard, and we can't post 40 languages. Can't say everything.
Yeah.
So how do you engage with those people?
It's really tough. I wonder if there's an app or something that would help with that. I mean, you could sort of use stuff like Hootsuite. You could post similar content on different Facebook pages. It's just, that's a really tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Yeah.
Utilize video and Skype and have links back to your website. But it's not English, though. The video will still be in English. No.
Subtitles.
We have so many. I mean, we have Korean, Chinese. We have a lot of Muslims. We have a lot of. I'm telling you, have the list. It depends on where you are. It's so hard.
It's hard when there's that many as well. Like, we have a client that sells jewellery called All Gem Jewellers, and we did a separate microsite for them. Is it in Chinese? Yeah, in Chinese for opals, because it was easy. They had just one sort of other demographic that they could target, so they had a separate site for that. But it's hard when you've got like 50. Yeah. Thanks for the question. If I think of anything, I'll email you. Thanks. Do social media links increase SEO page rank? Michael? Yeah, they can, definitely. Especially with that new relationship and with tweets. YouTube videos, everything's starting to show up in the actual search engine results. Not only that, if you consider the page rank of something like Facebook is a 9 out of 10, Google itself is an 8 out of 10, so they're quite strong platforms in the eyes of Google, and they do have a lot of user engagement as well, and they use similar algorithms. Okay, any other questions? Yes?
I'm just wondering, you were talking about posting video sort of quickly onto sites and things like that. Just wondering what the best mediums are considered to be these days, because like we get a lot of requests to shoot video at our council, which I'm kind of deflecting because it just takes too long to edit. So I used to work with video, but I'm just wondering if there's anything now that's a really fast way of, editing either iPhone Vision or video camera.
That was Shamini.
There's several mobile apps that you can download. I would recommend actually taking it onto the desktop and editing on Windows Movie Maker or iMovie because it gives you a lot more control. But if you want to do it in a cheap and cheerful, quick way, where it's just like a very ephemeral moment that you want to capture, there's a lot of apps you can download for free. That's both native to Android or iPhone. Yeah. So it really is about your process and what you want to achieve with that video and how far you want to get into it.
So Windows Movie Maker or
iMovie, which are both free and native to the specific platforms. Yeah. iMovie is a quick one. I mean, if you want to invest, you can go Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, but like it really, Avid is the industry standard, but I don't think it's necessary at that this level. I think if you wanted to put a bit of money into it, you'd go Premiere or Final Cut, depending on which one you wanted to get.
We do have the professional software, but we just it's more the resource at the time.
Video, unfortunately, is a time-consuming medium. It's native to the content.
You can get a trainee, we've got a trainee.
Get an intern.
There's no like the apps that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of quick way to edit on phone?
Yeah, so these apps are video editing apps on phone. So they would you can almost shoot to edit if you want to do that.
That's what I have in mind actually.
Yeah.
So is there anything you can think of?
I would get back to you with email. I just want to have a look at
Send me through an email.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other questions?
I'm
Yes.
just talking about one about web. So you're talking about the metadata descriptions.
Yes.
So if you don't code in a metadata description in the background, will Google just pull like the first 2 lines of copy?
Not necessarily the first 2 lines. It'll actually look for the keywords that the user has typed in and find a sentence that has those keywords or something close to, and just yank that and put it in there.
Any other questions?
For monitoring what people are saying about your organisation online, apart from Google Alerts and just looking at Twitter mentions, is there any other software or sites to go to?
Apart from that list we've already got, I mean, Google Alerts
is really good.
Is really good.
Have you used it before?
Yes.
If you've got, do you have like an iCenter subscription or
We do.
Yeah. So we have online at Lacey Council. We've got the online subscription for Media Portal as well. So some online blogs and online news pop up.
Yeah.
But one of the ways that we proactively find some of the other stuff is we know that there's like City Mag and Spoken, Stories Well Told and other brands, and we follow them on social media and have them in lists and actively monitor those lists to ensure that we're not missing stuff that Media Portal doesn't pick up on. Because Media Portal only picks up on the big boys online. It won't pick up on your smaller blogs like the Thousands, which is Australia-wide. So yeah, you've got to be following them on Twitter and on Facebook, put them in lists and proactively check those lists.
That's really good. Thank you for that.